The Honourable Mr Sims to conclude the debate.
Thank you, Mr President. I want to thank all members who have spoken on this motion, the Honourable Mr Hanson, the Honourable Michelle Lensink, the Honourable Tammy Franks and the Honourable Frank Pangello. And I also want to put on record my thanks to the Crown and Anchor campaign, the Cranker campaign, for the amazing work that they have done in mobilising so many people in our community on this issue. And this motion is not the end of this campaign, Mr President. In fact, it is just the beginning. It's just the beginning of a new movement that is campaigning to reform our planning laws here in South Australia and ensure that we have a planning system that actually listens to the views of the community rather than being captive to the interests of developers. It's clear that there's momentum to fix South Australia's broken planning system and to actually listen to the views of the community. I am disappointed that section 4 of this motion is being struck out because the government's amendments take all of the verbs out of the motion. The motion actually called on the government to form a position opposing this redevelopment of the Crown and Anchor, and it called on the government to support the social and cultural elements of heritage as well, and to ensure that that was appropriately recognised through our planning laws. I am disappointed that the Liberal Party seem to have changed their position on that. It seems to be a case of saying one thing on the steps of the Parliament on Sunday and doing something a bit different here in the Parliament, and that is a shame. I fear that there may be some members here that have been, well, that are capitulating to the views of the Property Council. And that's a shame, because if the Property Council had their way, then our planning laws wouldn't be about people at all. It's a bit like those uni chiefs, Mr President, that talk about unis being great places if not for the students. Well, the Property Council seems to think that our cities would be great places to live if not for the people that are actually in them. They seem to think that our planning system shouldn't involve any emotion, shouldn't actually consider the views of the residents and the community. Well, our cities aren't simply soulless concrete jungles. They're about people. That's what they're about. And the community should have a say in planning the neighbourhoods in which we live. These decisions shouldn't be outsourced to unelected committees of so-called experts. These decisions should be made by communities and involve their local councils. I do just want to say one of the deep flaws in our planning system and our heritage laws that's been exposed here is the fact that we have a planning regime and a heritage regime that is really shallow in terms of the protection that it provides to our iconic buildings. It's simply not acceptable that a developer can protect the facade and gut the interior of our iconic buildings. And we need to change our planning laws so that that can't continue to happen. And we need to change our planning laws to ensure that a venue like the Crown and Anchor can't be converted into a soulless building. And so this isn't the end of this campaign, it's simply the campaign moving into another phase. And if this motion gets up in an amended form tonight, that will be a good outcome for all those who've been out there rallying and campaigning, because it demonstrates that the Parliament takes this matter seriously. But there is still a lot more work to do, and I want to make it very clear that the Greens stand shoulder to shoulder with all those people in our community who want to see a planning system that actually works for people and not developers. I indicate that we won't be supporting the amendments, but we will support, of course, the substantive motion, should the amendments be successful.